What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Molten, and today, as I promised guys, you have episode 3 of my Pro Status Weekly episode 3. So, as you guys know, that's past couple weeks, it's been up and down for me lately. This week has not really been the best. I didn't really make one last week just because I pretty much made a video that I was with the same team that I was the previous 2 weeks. But the funny thing was, when I made that last video I made last week, when I put that video up, the same day I got, or it was announced that I got dropped from that team. And this is gonna be an interesting story for you guys, because I want your guys' opinion on if this actually, and this is something that you guys might encounter when you're with teams on and off. Like, so basically, when I put that last video up last week, the same day I got dropped from the team, and this was the reasoning. Apparently, I was an average player and an average person. That's why I got dropped. So when I got told that, I'm like, okay, I'm an average guy and I'm an average player, even though, like, there'll be most games, not some games, most games where all of, like, either me or another person on the team is going off, and I'm not the type of guy to say, oh, I'm gonna go off and then I'm gonna go off, I'm gonna drop this amount of kills, oh, I'm like the best in the team. I'm not that kind of guy, because I like showing like in like my gameplay. I like if you're gonna say you're the best, you gotta show it through your gameplay. Don't just say you're the best and then just like do shit the next game, because that's not how it works. So basically, I mean, going into the story, I mean, what really happened was nothing really bad happened. I mean, we every time we played, we won so many games together. Like, it was one of those teams where I kind of mentioned before, I was kind of like on a team like this before. Prior to this team, I was on a team just like this where we just won everything, but the only thing was we didn't really get along. But with this team, we kind of did. But if I were to point one thing that I didn't really like about this team, is just like there'll be games where we could be winning by like a good amount, and like no one would talk at all. Like we only talk in game, that's it. Like for callouts, and that's about it. Like we never like just sat in the lobby while waiting for a game. We didn't talk about like, hey, what you do this morning? What you have for breakfast? Or what did you do in school or whatever. Like we literally didn't talk at all as teammates, because like this is super underrated, guys. If you're in a team, like communication or chemistry in and out the game is important, because I can tell you right now, you guys can be the best team in the game, but like if you guys don't either A, get along, or you don't know your teammates outside the game, it's just gonna make it a chore to get on and practice with your team. If all you're really thinking about is, hey, let's get some scrims in, let's do some tournaments, let's play some games, and that's a good night. You know, all that, all that routine repeat. It's better to actually get to know the people you play with. That way, it helps your communication and gameplay in game as well as outside the game. That way, like, if you're there, like, hey, so my teammate's gonna do this in a certain situation, or they're gonna do this whenever they're in a certain type of situation, you'll know, because you know that person that player as a person, like you know them in and out the game. Now that was the really only problem with this team, is like we were so good, but apparently like in game, like no one would not necessarily call out, but they would call out like unnecessary things, like he's one shot, he's weak, he's here, and it wasn't even constant call outs. Like there would be times where all of us would be quiet, and I'd be the only person like constantly calling where I'm spawning, where I'm pushing, how many are left, how many are up, how many are dead, we're looking for this guy, or I'm pushing this. Like, there was no one in our team that was actively calling out like that. Like, they would call out, but they wouldn't call like the way I was calling out. So, the fact that I got called an average guy, which I'm kind of going into that argument, our average guy pretty much makes, that's someone else's opinion. I'm not going to mention names or whatever. Basically, like, I'm not even sure if, like, the whole team decided this or not, or they just decided, hey, we don't like this guy. I'm pretty sure like the reasoning because they didn't like me as a person, and that really made no sense since they didn't even talk at all. Like I would try to like get to know my team, you know, to get to know them, just so like we're not just sitting here and playing the same thing every day with people you don't know. Because if you play with people you don't know and you don't try to get to know them, it just makes it boring. Like part of competitive COD, guys, is you have to have fun. Like, if you're not having fun, like, why are you even competing? Like, if you compete to have fun, that's a good thing. But if you're playing with a team and you don't have fun because you're playing with that team, then obviously something's wrong. And I started noticing it too. Like, I was kind of questioning whether or not I should leave the team or not. But I'm pretty glad that this happened this way, just because I was pretty kind of like in a stalemate in terms of like an opinion, like not opinion, like a choice I wanted to make, if I wanted to stay and work it out, or should I just leave and just find another better team. But the thing is, we were winning, but our communication wasn't there. Like, no one wanted to talk. Like it got to the point where, like, in game we talk a little bit, and then once the game ended, we would be in a Discord chat, and I swear to you guys, like right now, if like in 1 full hour, the entire team will talk an entire of that time for like 10 minutes. For like if we had to say for like 1 hour, in that entire time, probably 10 minutes were talked about in that entire hour. So like, you just imagine that amount of time. Maybe let's imagine like maybe a 7-hour day when we're playing, or like getting good practice in with the team. Imagine that amount of time. How much time would you think 7 hours in total of a day? My entire team will probably talk for like maybe half an hour out of those entire 7 hours, or maybe an hour. That's how bad it was. So like, I kind of got annoyed a little bit, but I didn't really show it. I just was like, hey guys, come on, let's just start talking, you know. And I would like randomly crack. I'm like the type of guy, like I would crack jokes. I'd be like the jokester, the guy, just so like they can open up more, so they're not just like sitting in their chair like, yo, we got a match yet? All right. It's just like that. No one talks. Like, yo, match yet? And just complete silence. Like, no one would want to talk. So it's like, that's pretty much what ended up happening. Now, I'm not completely bashing the team. Like, the org was amazing. Like, the team was one thing, but the org was amazing, honestly. Like, I didn't have nothing really bad to say about the org. Like, they were really professional. They didn't have any decision whether or not to drop me. It was really the COD's team, or the COD team's captain responsibility to make sure the teams is actually like on point, and what decisions they make is based off like as a team. Now, I don't know who made this decision yet, but like I say, guys, like, that's pretty much what's happened this week. Is the same thing. I released that video last week. I ended up just pretty much just looking for teams. Like, for the entire week, I was kind of questioning why I got dropped. But really, guys, like, when you feel like you dropped from a really good team, there's really no point in just like sitting there and wondering why you got dropped. It's better to just let it go and realize that that's what competitive COD is going to be about sometimes. Like, team switches in and out the game, and that's fine, because like, obviously, you know, you work on things like that. So right now, I guess what I'm really doing is, right now, as you can see, talking a little bit about this pub, that's what I've been doing, really. I've just been pubbing so much, just make sure I'm not getting like stale or rusty. You know, I'm getting better and better. Even if I am good now, I just want to get better every single day, just because, you know, whenever you do get the opportunity to try out for a team, you don't want to be like, you don't want to get like you're not warmed yet. You know, you don't want to like lose your touch. So basically, that's why I make sure to play pubs every day. That way, like, I'm always making sure like I'm on point. So that's really what I've been doing as of now, guys. Like, I've just been pubbing it out, just make sure I've been good, and make sure I've been pubbing out, and just making sure like I've been like on top of my game. Just because you're not on a team, guys, like, that doesn't mean you can't, like, you know, get on the pub. Just make sure like you're making sure your shot's still on point, you're using different guns, you know, you're experimenting, you're learning the game whenever you can, you know, because like, you want to make sure always that you stay on top of your game. So like, when you do get the opportunity to try out for another team, you're just, okay, I'm ready. Where, you know, so you're not like, oh, that was my first game on, oh, I haven't played in like 2 weeks since I got dropped. Like, that's just excuses. Like, just make the time, you know, just put a couple hours in the game. Like, if anything, as much time as you can, and just make sure you're on top of your game always. So I guess that's what I've been doing. But for now, I guess I've just been pubbing until, like, damn, I just got rushed over here. I was like, speaking of this gameplay, I must just talk about it a little bit. First of all, War Machine just sucks ass, dude. Like, look at this. Like, I'm shooting like 2 bullets, and like, one should kill one person like with 1 bullet. But like, the War Machine is nowhere near good as it was Black Ops 2. Like, I don't know why they should literally buff the War Machine where it's like the Black Ops 2 one. But going off topic, basically, guys, that's about it. What I'm going to be doing from now on, I guess not from now on, but I'm right now just currently looking for teams. I'm just searching, I'm making sure my game's on point, I'm looking through. And that's the thing, guys, like when you're going through a lot of team changes, you get so picky like over time, but not picky as in like you're getting cocky, but picky as in like you want to make sure the team you get on, you want to stay in for a while, because I swear to you guys, give it a month, I'm like dropped from a team for like no apparent reason, and I'm trying to avoid that. So that's why at this point I think I should be really picky on who I decide to commit your time to, because again, that's your time. You don't wanna waste that. But that's that might be for another video I might do. But that's all for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys stuck around this long, I want to thank you guys for watching. 2 videos a week, and I know I kind of slacked on that last week, but I'll give you guys a video for tomorrow. Not sure what I'm gonna do, but I'll let you guys know when I do figure that out. And again, thank you so much for watching. This has been your boy Molten, and YouTube. We'll see you in the next video.
Yeah.